Hello, everyone. Good morning. And if you are on the East Coast, good afternoon. I hope there's no echo. I do have two cameras, and I'm going to show another angle when I get started. So today's video, and I got a little bug in here. It looks like a grasshopper. But I did go and harvest some of the mint that I needed to harvest. This is probably only a third of what I need to harvest. I need to keep an eye on that. It's a very small, some kind of grasshopper or something. So you have to be very careful when you are going out harvesting. Hello, Ando. Good morning or good afternoon to you. So in today's video, I'm just going to, or today's live stream, I'm going to show some of the different ways that I'm going to, and I forgot some things, but some of the different ways that I like to preserve. So I just went and got some mint. Can everybody hear me okay? Hey, Nefertiri. I do have two cameras, and I'm gonna be moving around a little bit because I want to show how I dehydrate, how I air dry, how I make a hydrosol, and then I want to talk about mint jelly and some other things. You're in the car with your listener. Well, thank you so much for being here. I was just talking about this mint that I have preserved, so we're just gonna go ahead and harvest. I'm gonna first take it to the sink and I'm gonna wash it. So I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see, and the little grasshopper, whatever that thing is hopping around this basket. All right, let me share my screen. And let me know if you guys can hear me. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear me. So what I like to do is I just harvest it, and I'm mindful of bugs or pests because you don't want to bring them inside the house. And that's what happened with me. There's something in here. You might be able to see him jumping. But what I'm going to do is you first need to determine how you're going to preserve it. And so I'm going to start off first by showing you guys how I like to air dry. So I do wash it off first. You don't have to. You can inspect the leaves, and if they look very clean, and that's what I was going for. At least I don't have any bites or any bugs. What I find mint is prone to is more like spiders being on it. Things don't really love to eat the mint leaf. Hopefully, whatever that is, hopefully he can hop on out this basket. But yeah, so that's what I have here. And when I do harvest it and I want to hang dry it, I leave lots of room for the stem so I can tie it around here. So I'm just going to take some of my pieces here. And I do like to hang it in bunches, but you do want to let it have some airflow. So when you see just things like this, I don't know if it's picking up where it's like a spider or so. Just going to do probably bunches like this to hang dry. So what I need for that, I just need some twine, which I have here, kitchen twine. It's very inexpensive and it lasts a very long time. And kitchen scissors. You just want them really sharp. All right, so let's see. Over here, and I'm just going to wash some of the mint. All right, so I'll just take those pieces and and I usually try to have the fork on, so if there's any little things on there. All right, but it was pretty clean, as you guys saw. So I'm just going to do several bunches. I have about 3 or 4 hooks, but let me stop talking because you might not be able to see. But I have about 3 or 4 hooks. So this is about how much I would have for each hook. You just want airflow to be able to get in there and dry all of it evenly. And I didn't bring it here, but I usually have a little towel that I like to use, a little kitchen towel. But since I don't have that, I do have some paper towel, and I usually just like to sit it on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wash up whatever pieces I'm gonna use, let it dry off a little bit before I hang dry it. All right, so let me pick some more pieces here. See, some of them, like this one was bitten by something, but when something bites it, it usually doesn't eat too much of it. And I will be taking your questions and all of that, so go ahead and start leaving them in the chat. I was running a little bit late today. I apologize. Let me go ahead and do this. So I'm just gonna do about like 3 again. And like these little pieces, you could just pick those off, put them in a compost, do whatever you want to do with them. Because I don't want those in my tea. And actually, I have way too much mint. So this is gonna be in my mom's tea. So just take off any leaves that don't look really good. All right. Let's do a little bit more. And like I said, just make sure you have some of the stem attached so you have something to wrap around. What are you guys harvesting right now? What are you guys preserving? And how do you like to preserve it? Let me know. Great. There we go. And I'm going to be washing quite a bit today, but I'm going to take a break and show you guys how I like to tie it in a moment. All right, let me see. Is anybody writing? All right, I'm going to switch it back here. All right, so greetings, gardeners and herbalists. I pray all is well. Thank you, Amuna. I appreciate you taking the time to make videos like this. I was wondering if I wanted to hang mint to keep bugs away. Can I use the same process? Yes, I definitely would use the same process. Let me go ahead and show you how I like to hang dry it. All right, so I have my bundles here. And there's no set amount that you know, to use. Like I said, 3, you could use 2. I mean, there's no set amount. But I just find that I don't want it too bushy because mint leaves are pretty big. So I just want to make sure I have something to wrap around here. I'm going to go ahead. Let me move this side. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece off. And I don't know how many inches, at least 6 inches or more. This is actually shorter than I would have wanted. Probably about 8 inches or so. And wrap it around. And it's best if you leave a little bit more room. So we'll dehydrate these. And it's just going to make it easier for me to get to the stem. So that's why I'm doing that. You don't have to, of course. Here we go. All the stems are lined up. Going to come around and I'm going to tie it. And you want to tie this tight and tie more than once. 2 to 3 times is good. So what I find is that your tie will usually be good, but the issue is when it starts to dry, these stems start to shrink. And so you may have to come and tie it more. So you want to have some more leeway with the string to be able to do that. So I'm just going to lay this one here. All right, and let's do another one. Gonna have a little bit more here. So it's about this long. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take off the bottom leaves. And again, you don't have to wash it, but I just do because I find it doesn't really make a difference. And it's just, you know, extra precaution of no bugs or whatever. Because like I just brought in some small bug here. You know, you may miss it, green on green. So it's just good. And I did this one a little bit tighter here. But as long as you can get it around twice, you'll be fine.
And then I can come around and loop again if I have to, but I have a lot more room to do that now if I want to. So I can come around here and add additional. And this, as I said, they will shrink up and dry. Mint is 80% water usually. So yeah, it's going to shrink up quite a bit. All right, so this is what they look like, and they're ready to hang, and they're pretty secure. All right, so let me come on over here. See what comments I have. This is how the mint looks. Now, if you don't have a special place to hang it, you could even hang it off of on your kitchen cupboards. The handles, you can actually hang it there. And I've done that actually underneath this little bookcase. Before we moved this here, I would hang it right underneath here. And it looks beautiful and makes your kitchen smell wonderful as well. All right, so right now I'm harvesting blueberries and leaves. I hope you guys could see me. I didn't take the comment down, but I hope you guys could see it. But I'm going to show you more as well. She said, I don't have any questions. I'm just watching. Very intensive, so I can know what to do when I do start harvesting. Thank you for this video. Thank you for being here. Another question regarding leaves grow, such as pepper plants. Can I harvest them and use them as herbs to cook with? So yeah, a lot of the plants that you do have in the garden, you can use those leaves. I don't know about pepper plant leaves, and I wouldn't, just because pepper plants are in the nightshade family. And so I wouldn't do it for that. But other things that you can use, like if you want to use them in cooking, is like the tops of beets. I'm sorry. You can use the tops of carrots as well. I think of broccoli. When you grow broccoli, you can use those leaves, and they're really good as well. The tops of radishes. Those are all I can think of right now at the top of my head. But a lot of plants you can eat the leaves, like sweet potatoes. You can use those leaves and cook them like you would a spinach. And they're really nutritious as well. Is there a difference between hanging them dry versus incarcerated? Yes. So less heat. So letting them dry slow and as low as possible is always best. But if you can air dry them, I just feel like you can really monitor them more because you're seeing them. So you can really get them at like the peak of freshness so that you don't have them getting over dried, which may happen in a dehydrator. But I still do watch them, every a certain amount of hours, when it should be ready. So once you get used to it, you can start checking it every hour or so after that and taking off individual leaves. But yeah, it's going to be fresher and better quality when you air dry it. I would say most herbs can be air dried pretty successfully, especially things like rosemary, thyme. Things with really small leaves are really good when they are air dried. Oregano is another one. Trying to see. I want to show some of the herbs that I have that I dehydrate on my own. Okay, so I have this. Let me show myself big, and we'll get back to it in a moment. But I want to show you the difference in the quality, right? So give me 1 second. I'm going to get some oregano that I bought in bulk dry, and I'm going to show you the difference between my own dry oregano. Leaving myself in there. Keep leaving your questions. All right, so I just hit my oregano, and I want to show the difference in my own dry oregano versus the one that I purchased. So this is my oregano here. This is air dried. Can you see the color of it? Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just realized that it was muted. Give me 1 second. Okay, could you guys hear me the whole time? You might have heard me from my other camera, so I'm hoping and thinking that you guys can hear me. Let me know if you couldn't hear me though, and I'm sure repeat everything that I was saying. But okay, so this is some of the oregano, and I guess I'll just pick out more of it. When I dried this, I was very lazy, and I actually left it out a little longer than I maybe should have. But you can see the green there, and it's like a light green, and there are some bits that are darker green, right? But this is oregano that you get when you're purchasing in bulk. It still is green, but it's not as green. And what you'll find is, especially if you're buying the spices that are just like for your cabinet, this was from a supplier. If you're getting the ones in the grocery store, it's even darker color. So you heard me. Thank you. So hopefully you can see the difference in the color. So this has been dried out much more than it needed to. And that's just one example. I have another one as well. Let's see. Oh, this is peppermint. No, that's not what I wanted. But I always, whenever I try something, I compare it to store bought, and it just always looks so much better and so much fresher than what you want to purchase in a store. See, I have my own peppermint here. I don't. Spearmint. All right, so we'll use spearmint. We'll use it for just for purposes of showing. Spearmint does look similar to like a peppermint. These peppermint tend to have like a purplish content to it. And so here's some that I dried as well. Got a lot of crumbs here. And here's how this one looks. It's green, but it does have purple. But it still is very pigmented. It looks like how it did when it was fresh. Whereas this is spearmint, so it's not the best example. But it's just like, what looks more appetizing? And I definitely think that not only do your own herbs, when you dry them, that they look better, but also they taste better as well. Because when you have it powdered like that, it loses all of its nutrients much quicker. And so you're getting inferior product in that aspect as well. So let me see, make sure I don't miss any questions. She says, that's cool. Hello, Linda. I hear you, but it was from the other camera. Yeah. You hear echo now? Lots of echo. And that might have been before when I was moving. So let me go ahead and put these herbs up. Let me know your questions as well, what herbs you're growing, and we'll continue. All right, so I had, and I can't take it down, but it was $10 or less. I believe like $8. It came with 2 little pots that are white and has a little, just like a little shelf, and it has these hooks I can hook onto them. And so it's just so handy. And so that's what I'm actually going to do and tie it around here. This is so inspiring. I love how neat you're set up. Thank you. Thank you. I just did a video showing how I redid it because it can be hard to make sure you organize it. And I did mention some of the ways you can organize it. I think I gave 7 tips for organizing the herbs. And I will make sure that I go ahead and put in the description like how you can, if I find a shelf like the one I have, I'll link it. But I'll also link like how you can get these little, I got like 100 of these or so just to keep my little bits of herbs that I get. All right, so that's what I would do. I usually tie it around first, again, like I did the other one, and put it around the hook. And I might be doing it upside down. Trying to think of how this is going. But yeah, so I should have tied this one twice. But yeah, so this is how it stayed. And it looks really nice. So maybe I'll use my other camera around and show you. But I just didn't want to do it too close because I didn't want echoes. All right, any questions? I don't see any questions. I'm going to put this one up and come back. All right. So I like to use, let's see. I planted mates today, but I didn't know what to do with it. Can you help me with that? Actually, I don't know much about it. I'm sorry. And hey, Lydia. I hate to say that, but I don't know like what it tastes like or what it looks like. I've never used it, so I can't give any advice about that. Maybe if I look it up, see what it looks like, then I can help you. But if it's a culinary spice, it probably, and if it has like a really strong smell, it just probably is really good for digestion and for helping your stomach. I like to use what I already have at home. I'll use yarn, but yeah, and you can definitely use that. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my other camera again, and I'm gonna wash a little bit more. And this time I want to show you guys how I would do it for a hydrosol. And I'm still washing my phone over there, so we can dehydrate as well. And I'll show you what I like to use and all of that stuff. Let me share the screen big. All right. All right, so let's move this over here. I'm gonna get my other, let's see. So I like to use a kitchen towel like this, just one that a flour sack towel, as they're called, because they're much more absorbent, and it just cuts down on using paper towel. I mean, it takes me a long time to get through my paper towel because I'm always using this whenever possible. So how many of you have dehydrated before? I know that some have tried dehydrating in the oven, and that's cool too. And that's a good way to start. But you just have to be careful that you don't use up, your oven light. And it is just using a lot more energy that way. But if that's all you have, it is a good option. All right, so let's go ahead and pick some more leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to dehydrate some now. So I'm going to wash them and then take the leaves off. And I'm going to show you how I take the leaves off. It's really easy. There's some camera. All right, and I told you guys I reuse these flour sack towels until they wear out. Okay, but that doesn't matter. So whenever you're getting the leaves off, you just always do it the opposite way, and the leaves come right off. So you just hold it securely, and then for the top, I usually just pinch it off like that. So it's a really easy process. Do it as much as you can. Oop, there we go. And the tops come off. And you're just left with stems, and you can just, throw those in the compost, do whatever you want to do with them. Oh, let's see. Let's go ahead and fill up one row of the dehydrator. All right, so usually when you're dehydrating, you do want to, make sure you read your manual. Mine always wants at least 3 of these sections on here. So that's what I make sure I always do. I also bought these. These are liners, and you can find these because dehydrators usually come with a standard size. And so for the most part, you order these. They may not be 100% perfect, but they have some for the square dehydrators as well as these circle ones. And this will just help because if you don't do it on this, what will happen is the herbs, when they dry, they can dry to this and get stuck in here, and it's just harder to clean. So I like this because it's less mess, and it just makes it easier to take this off, and then I can kind of like get it into a jar easily. So that's what I like to do. You don't have to do that. And I do have it in the descriptions of some of my other videos, so I'll just make sure I go ahead and link it. I was just running late today. All right, so whenever you have the leaves, you just want to leave some space in between them. You don't want them overlapping because then they won't get the same amount of airflow. And you just want them to dry about the same at the same time. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. Just break it off. Now, stems take the longest to dry. So If you can take them off, that's ideal. Okay. So it's really easy, just layering them on. Oops. A lot of small little teeny leaves. And you guys can probably hear those birds out there. But that's about what I would do. Don't try to stick too many in there. Like if you have too much, like this is going to give me 5 trays. And so if you have too much, then just hang dry the rest. Don't squish it off there. All right, let's do another one. And while I have this in shot, this one is actually an Aldi brand of dehydrator, and it only lets you move this knob. And so what I do is I go lower than low when I do it. Other ones do come with heat settings, and so you always want to do it on the lowest setting possible, because less heat makes sure that you keep as much of the nutrients in. When I'm taking these off to make sure they're dry, you want them to be crunchy like a chip, like the sound that a chip makes. Okay, let's take the stem off. I'm going to be going back over to see if I have any questions. So start leaving them if you have them. So in the garden currently, I just got some pineapple mint. I also have peppermint. I have peppermint, and I just got spearmint. I also have lemon balm that I just put as well. And I have chocolate mint from last year. And this right here is sweet mint. This is by far what seems to take on the most. So what I decided that I want to do is that, hopefully you can't hear notifications from my phone. Okay, good. You're still there. What was I saying? So what I'm going to do is put this in the front, and this is going to be some in a pot in the front, so it can just do its thing, and I don't have to worry about it taking over everywhere. My garden tour, I've already filmed it. If you remember, you can already see it. If not, you can see it on the 31st, and you'll see what kind of problem I'm having with this mint. All right, so that's how the dehydrator works. As I keep going, I'm not going to bore you by doing too much of it right now, so we're going to skip back to, let's see what I want to do. Let's do the hydrosol, okay? Let me come back. All right. All right, I'm back. So let me go and read some questions, and then I'm going to show you what I need to do. I hear it. What I need to do for this hydrosol. Let's see, what did I miss? Hello, Yasmin, it's inspiring. Thank you. Let's see. I have a lot of things I don't know what it's for. I just sent them to Queen. Let me see. I think that's like, is it a Middle Eastern spice? Oh, of course it's telling me what mace, pepper spray. Mace, seeds. Let's see. Yellowish brown spice derived from the coating of nutmeg. Okay. So I see a picture of them there. So yeah, if it's related to nutmeg, then if it has sweetness, then it usually is good for hypoglycemic levels. So if your blood sugar is high, it usually will help to regulate that as well. And probably has anti-inflammatory properties and maybe antioxidants. So it may be like a really good plant to include into your diet. But I'm not sure, again, I haven't tasted it, but just from taking an educated guess, that's probably what I'd say. If it's similar, I would probably then use it similar to nutmeg, so it probably has like a sweet kind of taste. Honestly, don't have to be hydrated. I just use the air dry method. And for a lot of plants, I think that works really well. Even for some plants that they say doesn't dry well, like chickweed or creeper, I find air drying it just always works out for me. And it probably just depends on also the level of humidity in your home. But I never do all that technical stuff if things just seem to work. So will you discard this? Why do you discard the stems? Well, most of what I want is a leaf. You don't have to discard them. You can compost them. I mean, if I wanted to, I can throw them in the chicken coop just to give some scent. But other than that, what we usually enjoy eating is the leaves or having them in the tea or whatever. So I just get rid of the stem because it takes longer to dry. So that's why I make sure I don't have any stems on there when I'm drying it in a dehydrator. Air dry works too. That's what I did. Yes, I do love air drying. Yes, I love air drying. I do that in your method now. I do also that growing. I'm looking to getting lavender and lemongrass. Yeah, let me know what you guys are growing and what you're dehydrating. I do have lemongrass from my garden. I'm not growing it this year because unfortunately here in zone 7 it's not a perennial, but it really loves it here because we do get it is really hot here and it really does seem to enjoy it. But I just decided not to do it this year, but maybe I will. But it just I prefer to deal with perennial plants, and so in my zone, some of the more tropical loving plants aren't able to stay for prolonged periods of time. So I'm gonna take this over here. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna take this stuff over there, and I'll show you how I do this hydrosol. So let me go ahead. All right. All right, so let's turn you up. I'm getting a lot of exercise today. All right, so let me know. I need more questions and comments. You guys are always too quiet. And I'm sure you guys have some questions. All right, so. Give me a moment. I just instantly pressed back. So give me 1 second. Okay. Enter. All right, there we go. Sorry, and I'm sorry about those sounds when I have to switch it over. Okay, so I'm going to, and you don't have to wash it. You don't have to wash it for the hydrosol. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to wash it though, just because I'm here. But I'm going to actually fill this up. So there's a max line inside. So this is the bottom of the distiller. And see here, it says max. So it lets you know on the inside and the outside how much water is needed. And I'm just going to fill it up a little bit, like 2/3 full. And so when I'm done with that, there's this piece that goes, let me see, move this basket over. All right, so there's water in here, and this water is what's going to cause the steam. This is actually going to go on the heat. I'm putting this on top. I just screw it in. And the only purpose of this is to keep all of this liquid inside, all the steam and all that. It's going to keep it inside. But I screw this piece on top, and this is the section where the herbs actually go. So when you get a smaller homemade distiller, it has a smaller size, but this will give me about 16 ounces of hydrosol. All right, so all I was doing was turning and twisting it on. It comes with these two pieces. So I always flip it up so that it's easy to pull out with my hand. So I'm going to put one in. You have to put one on the bottom and one on the top. It's like a barrier between the herbs. Okay, and so let's move here. Sorry. Let's see how that works. I don't have to fall here. All right, we should be good.
All right, so I'm gonna just rinse these off really quickly, and then we're just gonna stuff them in here. This is really easy, and I mean, you don't have to wash it, but I'm just going to. All right, and I'm just gonna leave it with the stems on in here just because I can. So I'm just gonna do it. I think I'm gonna leave some to give as a gift, like it's gonna look like a mint bouquet. So I'm gonna leave some long pieces in here. I really want to know where that Mr. Grasshopper went. And that's one of the ways that you can use your excess mint, because mint is invasive. And especially this just this regular sweet mint, garden mint, whatever you want to call it. It does make very pretty little like bouquets. So what I'm going to do is, when you want to, and I should have planned this a little bit better. Let's get this. All right, so I like to use these mason jars. Ideally ones that don't have writing on it. So this is from when I made like a vinegar with it. But you just put a little bit of water in here, and you put the plants in here, and you take off the bottom leaves, which don't look that great. And you can give it to someone. You can also dig it up with some roots if you want to give it as a plant. So let me put some water in here, and then that's just going to be a pretty gift to give to someone. So make your neighbors happy. All right, so that's that. If somebody wants to cook with it or whatever, this water will help it to stay fresher longer. So I'm just going to make a few of these and set them aside. And if you do put them in these little jars, just don't expect them back. Maybe you tell them to give the jar back to you with some jam or something like that. All right, so I'm going to just do this again pretty quickly. And I'll use these for my dehydrator. And I'll talk about some of the properties of mint, even though many people are very familiar with mint. Maybe I'll share something that you didn't know about it. Let's see. I think that looks good. Really nice. Make sure there's no bugs on it. All right, so let's finish this. I got sidetracked, and I get sidetracked often. And I actually have to leave some for my jelly that I'm going to talk about. So just to save room, I'm going to take some of these leaves off. And pop the top off. And we're going to do a little bit more just to squeeze it down in here. And I just have to leave a cup, and that'll be fine. Where is this bug? Where'd you go? All right. So I'm getting there. One more piece. This is a good one I should have used. And that's okay. Still can. And that one is too. Not that's too far. Oh, all right, there we go. And I'm going to explain what a hydrosol is. I'm going to move my camera now. So let me turn you down. I keep pressing buttons. What? No. There we go.
All right, y'all. I apologize. Trying to get this working today without having an echo is just Lots of work. All right, so let's see. Did I miss any comments? Honestly, I read that. Might have described the Sims. Air dry works too. You guys didn't have no. I also have. You guys didn't have any questions. Okay, so I put the top on here. Actually, what I missed a piece. I have to put that piece on top. So give me a second. All right. So I'm putting this piece again at the top, and I'm gonna have it with the latch side up so I can pull it out. And I'm twisting it on, and let me take these comments off so you can see what the machine looks like. It is pretty tall, but it does fit, like if you have like a microwave above your stove, it does fit underneath there. All right, so this section here, it has this tube that goes from this side to the other side. So on this side, you can see the little coils in here, and you put ice in here, and that's going to cool these coils, and it's going to cool the vapor, and that's what makes it condense into what we call a hydrosol. So a hydrosol is basically the condensed vapor or steam that comes from when you have it boiling. So you do get some essential oils in a very small amount, but most of what you get is actually the liquid, which it looks clear like water, and it has some of the fragrance of the plant, but not as much, because the essential oils is what has most of the scent. So that's why, like when you make perfume, you use essential oils. All right, so this goes into here. So this is really easy to set up. Takes only a few minutes. It took longer just because I'm talking you guys through it, but it's very simple. And then this part goes on the stove, this part here that has the water that's going to boil. And this part, I usually just prop up with another pot that's upside down, and I still got some liquid in here. This is hydrosol. Yeah, and so you just will have to refill about 3 times or so, and you do get it, and you just have some kind of vessel here to collect all of the liquid and the hydrosol and the essential oil is what I'm at as well. So what I do, I should go ahead and I'll just wait before I set it up. All right, so I don't have any questions. I want questions, so ask me questions. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over. So since you guys don't, I'm gonna give you time to ask me more questions. For the people who didn't get to see how I hang dried it, I'm gonna finish dehydrating it. I don't think I'm gonna have enough left. And then we're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna get my book and show you the recipe to make some mint jelly. All right, so I will have to get myself a give me a second. Let's just have a little stand so I can show. So this is a recipe. This is from Ball Canning Back to Basics, a foolproof guide to canning jams, jellies, pickles, and more. I've shown this video when I've canned like salsas and tomato products and some jams. This has really good jam recipes, like my plum jam. So I have to link my canning playlist for those who want to see those recipes. So this one has a tart mint or basil jelly, and the ingredients are sugar, water, some white vinegar, some loosely packed either mint or basil. So when I saw this recipe and I saw, let me move it over. Why did it get so dark? I don't know why is it so dark. But anyway, when I saw this recipe and when I saw that they only wanted me to use 1 cup, I was really not happy because I have so much more to use. But anyway, you can also put in some food coloring. I won't be doing that. And also some pectin. So those are the ingredients for it. And so this is more like a condiment to add on top of meats. Oops, sorry for the, let's see. Okay, I have a smudger anytime. And then I saw, sorry for the typo. Let's see. Oh, any tips for making it easy to crumble? I don't have a smudger. I don't use one, so I can't give any tips on that. I'm sorry. I didn't want that thing. I'm not sure. Oh, I see you put any tips on smudging herbs. Yes, I don't have any. I've never done it. That's a handy way of doing it. I need to go thrifting soon. A lot of vintage appliances can be found. Yeah, I love going to like Goodwill or going to any of these places like Dirt Cheap or whatever. It's amazing the things that you can find. And I only went to IKEA once, but I did like that they had a lot of things that were cheap that can be used for some of the like decorative, but also for some of the useful aspects when it comes to kind of harvesting and preserving and those kind of great things. She had a question mark. I'm not sure. Can you retype your question? Where did you get your distiller? So I actually got it on Amazon. I have a video that showed the process as well. And I think I did use sage in that video. So I'll have to link that one. But I got it on Amazon. I did want to talk about the price. The price is $159. So I wanted to get one, but I waited for a while. But I started using hydrosols all the time. And so they can be pretty pricey. Usually for about like 3 to 3.4 ounces or like 3.2 ounces, they usually do about 3 ounces for $12. And you'll use that, in a month or less. And so it really adds up. And so I decided to get one so I could do it on my own. And if I got any essential oils, that would be like a bonus. And so I haven't noticed any essential oil, but I wasn't really, I tried once and I didn't get any. And so now I really just use it for hydrosols. But now that I make my own hydrosols, I've given so much away and I've used it for cleaning, for everything. And so it's just really useful. So some of the ways that you can use them in food. So like when I did a hydrosol with yarrow and elder flowers, you can take that when you're sick or something. It can help with fevers and things like that. You can use it in skin products. So I do like to use them when I make my own creams instead of water. I like to use hydrosols. I use them as a face toner as well. And they're shelf stable, so you don't have to put them in the refrigerator or anything like that. And they do last a long time. So that's another reason why I like to use them. I use them for cleaning my floors. Like I'll use for my mint hydrosol, because I have so much of it, or sage, I'll just put a large amount of that instead of water. I usually just use castile soap, hydrosol, and water to mop my floors. And it works, and it smells like the smell is strong. I also use it in mine. So I'll put some detergent or whatever, and then put some hydrosol as well. And it just can help to freshen the clothes as well. So you can use it as a room refresher. You can use it, if you make those toilet bowl sprays, you can use that instead of liquid. You can use it for a pillow refresher. There's so many different uses for them. So I really do enjoy them. So for me, it was a really good investment. And it's just one less thing that you have to buy. I did answer that. Okay. Yes, this is a distiller. Oh, I'm a new subscriber. I feel blessed I found your channel. I think I saw a comment that you left. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, so I'm excited to try this mint jelly recipe out. I didn't get a chance to look at any of the other books to see if I found a different recipe. It has so much sugar. It says 6 1/4 cups sugar. And but I'm always a low sugar camp. So I will try to craft the recipe to be low sugar. So if I don't have any more, let's see. Oh, so you mean a mortar and pestle? I don't know why it just got so dark. I apologize. But yeah, are you talking about a mortar and pestle? So to instead of crushing up or cutting up herbs, how you can break them up. This is really handy. You can find these at places like Ross, Marshall. They'll be less than $20. These do tend to be kind of expensive. I prefer, I do have a wood one because it was cheaper and it was there. but I would prefer to have a stainless steel one because it's just easier to clean. And like when I'm trying to crush something like cloves, or if I want to break up some frankincense or something that's really tough, I feel like steel would do better than the wood because I feel like I'm damaging the wood. So I don't always use this when I want to. But this is really handy because when you're making like some fresh teas or even in cooking, breaking up those cloves or what cardamom or whatever, you can get these spices in whole and break them up, and they're just so much fresher. So it definitely is worth the purchase. You got yours from a flea market? No, you got yours from IKEA. Flea markets might also have some people that craft their own, but those might be more expensive because they're handmade. Yes, I didn't know the name for it. I have one. I purchased it from City Trend, $6. That's a really good price. Yeah, so that's really handy. Yeah, and when you buy the bulk herbs or when you buy them whole, they do tend to be cheaper as well. All right, so let me know if you guys have more questions. I'm gonna switch the camera over. I want to get back to dehydrating it, and then I want to process. They told me to dry and just bruise them slightly. So I'm gonna just get about a cup of the mint, put it with some 2 cups of water and a cup of vinegar. And I'm gonna see how much sugar I need to put because it does have vinegar. The vinegar is going to be needed. Like you always want to stick with the canning recipes, but when the vinegar is there, that's for acidity. And so I don't know that I could add less sugar, but I would feel like I'm going to put somebody in a diabetic coma. That's a lot of sugar. And it's a little less, like 3/4 cups per pint. Like that's a lot. But anyway, I'm going to make it because my mom said she wanted some, but whew. All right, let me go ahead and switch my camera view and ask me some questions, people. All right, let me mute. All right, so let's see. Do I have about a cup left? Let me turn you guys up. And I saw it, Amuna, you said you were getting ready for Shabbat. And so I need to choose my pots wisely because that's what I'm going to need to do as well. Let's see. I'm sure I have more than a cup. So maybe I need to make, and I'm going to have to get some jars out. Let's go ahead and wash. Oh, I do have these here. And I said, I'm not going to give any more. I'll just use this and I'll get some another day. All right. So let me move you guys so you can see what I'm doing. Right now, I'm just washing some. And then I'm just going to but just when you're harvesting, just try to get only leaves that look good, like you would just pick and feel comfortable just eating it right away. All right, so is that about a cup already? These recipes, I mean, a cup of mint, that's not very helpful. That was literally 1 piece of mint. So if you don't have much mint in your garden, but this book does have a lot of small batch recipes. All right, so this is probably going to be 2 cups then. And I'm just supposed to bruise them a little bit, it says. All right, I could do a little bit more. Let's take the bottom leaves off. All right, so that's what we got. We got 2 cups, and then it said 2 cups of water. So I'm gonna get a measuring cup and put 2 cups of water, and then it did say white vinegar. Now, when I'm canning, I do just use the white vinegar. I would have preferred to use apple cider vinegar, but I don't know what that taste is going to be like. It is much stronger. So I'm just going to stick with the white vinegar on this one. And you always want to have that 5% acidity. So don't use your own homemade vinegar for canning purposes. And let me finish that sentence, because if you do, you run the risk of it not having the right pH and then not being safe. And we want to make sure that, we're not giving our family something that is going to cause harm. And I'll just say that so I don't get flagged by YouTube. All right, so we need a cup, 5% acidity. I have a pretty big one. I wanted to show you where it says 5%. Where is it at? Come on, where are you at? I know it's on here somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry, 5% right here. 5%. So just look on the label. Whenever you're getting it from the store, it's going to have 5% acidity, but it's just good to check and make sure. I'm trying to see. That's not a bug. Okay. So I'm going to put a cup of it in here, because that's what the ingredients, or that's what the recipe says, to put it in here, and the water, the 2 cups of water. So I'm going to go ahead and get my 2 cups. When you are canning with some kind of, and we're just going to bring this to what's called a rolling boil. When you are canning with vinegar, and I forgot to break these up, so I'm going to do that now. But I said just lightly bruise it. So when you're canning with vinegar, open a window or open the door, because my husband always complains about the smell of the vinegar when it boils. Okay, so there we go. Just, you want to smell the mint. All right, and so I'm making sure I have just 2 cups and not extra 2, because I do want to make sure that acidity is correct. So I'm just putting it on the counter first to stabilize. I'm supposed to get the sugar. 3, 4. All right, sugar. Where's my sugar? And I wonder if I even have enough sugar. If you could see how much I have, I wonder if I even have enough sugar for what they want. All right, I need to add a little bit more water. All right, and so I need 6, 6.5, 6 1/4. All right, I'm almost there on the water. All right, so here we go. All right, so that's the water, and now let me do the sugar. Oof. Let me see my pepsin. So here's some pectin, and this one is Kroger brand. I bought this just because when it was really hard to find, I made sure I got myself some pectin. But this is what I actually do. I use this, and this is the ball, and this is low or no sugar, and that's what I do usually, low or no sugar. I did turn you up. Okay. So let me go ahead and put this sugar in here. Ooh. Yeah, I don't even think I literally have enough sugar. So I think I might boil it. Ooh, see what I think about the taste of it. And this is my good organic sugar I'm using over here. I need to check and see if I don't think I have any white sugar. that's 2 cups. You guys can see it's a lot of sugar in this. So I'm only putting in about 3 cups. We'll see what it actually tastes like. Whew. All right. So you always want to use a what they say, non-reactive. Whew. I hope it tastes good. And we'll see how green it gets. Oh, and I forgot that I put 2 cups of mint in here. So I really have a small amount of sugar. I have to check and see if it has more. Two cups. Yeah. So here, so that's why it also needed more water. Okay, and then I need to add additional vinegar. Where did I put it? So I'm gonna go put it on the, put it on the stove. Let's see. And I am adding my vinegar. Even though you guys are not gonna see it, I am adding it. All right, I'm gonna move you guys over here. This jug. I'm gonna have to go soon. This is a vinegar because I wanted you guys to see that I did put it in there. Whew. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to that boil, and we'll see what it tastes like. Let me. All right, let me go ahead and come back. Did y'all just see my actual phone fall in water? Yes, that is a lot of sugar, and that was only 3 cups, where I'm supposed to have, so let me double it. I'm supposed to have 12 and a half cups, and I put 3 cups, so I only have brown sugar left. So what I think is I'll actually take it to my mom's, and yeah, I'm like, that sugar is enough to give you a heart attack. Let's see. Oh, you're here. Hello, Elfie. How are you doing? Good to see you. I like that picture. Awesome. How would you make mint oil? So you could use a distiller and you can get mint essential oil. But if you want to make a mint infused oil, you'll get some dried mint. It's really important that you use dried mint because mint does have a lot of water in it, and so you don't want to have it spoil after you go through all of that hard work. So you want to have dried mint and you put it in a jar. And really just make sure you have about like 2-3 inches above it with oil on it. Perhaps I saw a video of that in the future. I'm confused myself how to measure a cup of regular sugar. So I just packed it into the measuring cup. Is that packed down right? Let's see. I believe that I packed it probably loosely. So I'm going to go with it. It says loosely packed. So yeah, they want it loosely packed. So I'm sure that mint is a very strong flavor. So I'm sure that it will have that mint taste. And I'm sure that it has so much sugar because of the amount of vinegar that you have to actually get it to the right stage. I'm sure it will taste good, but it just was something I didn't even to see that it's that much sugar thrown into it because that makes me, never want to try it. It is a lot of sugar. We saw it live. Yes, I can't believe it fell in the pot. I'm glad the pot was not boiling. You got a strong echo. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'll just turn off my phone now because I really leave this soon. Let me know if you guys have any more questions before we get finished. I did want to show the rest of me dehydrating, so since I have to do it for the house, I'm gonna keep doing it. So let me know your questions. I'm not leaving just yet. Let me know your questions, and I'll show for those who didn't get to see how I do my dehydrating. And I'm gonna reiterate some of the points that I made. Whew. There's a lot going on right now. Alright, phone, okay. Alright, phone, put that down. Oops. Okay. Alright, I have you guys turned up. Alright, let's continue. Okay. I'm gonna put my phone in some rice after this. My hands are sticky now from that sugar. Alright, so I just want to finish what I do have and finish the rest of this dehydrator off. So I have these leaves here, and why not? They weren't washed. Alright, so alright. I'm guessing these were washed over here, but we're just gonna rewash everything. Okay. So I like to put the herbs on some kind of kitchen, like this is called a flour sack towel. Okay. And so I like to put on here to get some of the excess water off. So this is the dehydrator that I have. It's a circle one. I got it. Actually, my mom bought it for me. It was $20 at Aldi. So it's just, it's worn, and I've had it here. But I will link to a similar one, and I'll also link to this. This is a liner, and I like it because if you dry herbs on here, what will happen is the herb will dry up, and then it can be stuck to some of these grooves here, some of these holes, whatever word you want to use for it, and it can just be much harder than it has to be. So I got this, and it's just a standard size. Like the circle dehydrators have their standard size, so you can just feel free to get this. Even if you have a different dehydrator, if it is circle, you can just cut it if you need to adjust it. But as you can see, it has additional length and all of that. So when it's dried, I can just pull it up, and all the leaves are ready to go. So what you're looking for is for the leaves to be totally dry to where it's crunchy or crispy when you actually break it in your hand. And we're not trying to dry it out until it loses all of its color, anything like that. We want the smell to still be there. We want it to still be very potent. All right, so I'm watching it. I'm not going to move my phone anymore because I don't want it to drop. It already needs to be in right probably. But yeah. So I just kind of take it off in the water. I flip it upside upside down and pull. It's very easy. And then for the top leaves, I do just like to break it off. Real simple. The stems do take longer to dry, so I just will throw it in the compost, throw it in the chicken coop, but I'm not going to go through the work of drying it when I don't really want to, eat it or whatever anyway. So I'm just going to lay it out, and there's no, right or wrong way to do it, except that you just want to make sure they are not overlapping. So you can do it in whatever direction, however you want to. Sometimes I will just dry a little piece like this, and you can do that. And I've dried, depending on what the herb is, like oregano, I usually will leave stems on, and I'll just lay it because it just has such small leaves. It dries really quickly. But for mint with the big leaves, I don't do that. Right? So here's another one. I just pull the opposite direction and the leaves come off. And I do this with pretty much any herb and it works. Some herbs are harder to do than others, like a rosemary with very small leaves. It's a little bit harder to do, but it's doable. Or thyme or so. Those are a little bit harder. Right, so that's this one. And I think I picked about the right amount because I only have 2 of these left. So give me, once this stream ends, because I'm already late, I gotta go to my mom's house. Give me a little bit of time, but I will have it in the description for you all to view. Okay. And just keep the nice leaves. If there's some that are like sitting or whatever, just might as well use it in some other way instead of drying it. That we might have a little bit left, but I think I'll just throw that in last Saturday. All right, so this will be the last one. And what I have left, I think I'll probably throw in the chicken coop just because it's the easiest thing to do. And they need it because it's been raining. So. And mint can repel bugs, so that'd be another benefit of doing that. It can possibly repel some flies or critters that like to be in chicken coop. Okay. Last one. So definitely, if you're looking for a beginner-friendly plant, one that's going to be very abundant, then look no further than mint. Like this one, that's okay. Just one bite. It's okay. They just wanted to test it and make sure it was good. All right. Here's the top. Okay. Gotta fit all of it in here. Like, oh, there we go. All right, so that's how that goes. I'm gonna put the top one in now. And then it comes with one extra, so I just like to just throw this on top. And then, since you can see it, I'm gonna plug it up. And I don't leave it going through the night unless I know it's something that takes a very long time, like citrus. And I already had it still clicked on. So I just put it low, the lowest setting here. That's what you want to do. Right. Where that bug went? Must have went in the sink. All right, so I just have very little left. So I'm just going to use this and throw all of this into the chicken coop. All right. I want to show again really quickly though that I did put aside. So I think one will be for my mom. And look, once you put them, if you want to actually cook with these throughout the week, you put them in water and they stay nice and vibrant. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that. And I'll let you guys know about that mint jelly. I don't think I'm going to do a video on it, but I'll let you guys know if you're interested. All right, I'm back. And amazingly, oops, do I need to, let me kick my camera out. All right, so hopefully that'll help. All right, so let's see, this is not related. Okay, I love the idea of preserving herbs and have so much to learn. I hope to get a dehydrator this year. Yeah, there's so many different ways to preserve it. There is no right or wrong way. And with plants like mint, I could do this every week. And so you can have such an abundance for the whole year. And that's pretty much what the reason behind preserving herbs in the first place is that even when the seasons ends or even when it's not in its prime, you still have other ways that you can use it and get the flavor and the essence of the herb all throughout the year. This is not related to this live. Can you do a video on growing a garden in pots for smaller yards and areas? Veggies and fruits that will do well in pots. Yeah, definitely. That's I'll make a mental note of that and I'll write that down. I think that is a really good video. And I do still grow a lot of things in pots, so I think I can share a lot of plants. Let's see, some that I can just say very quickly. Actually, I want to share, and that should be going soon, but I want to share these seeds that I just bought. A lot of them are container friendly, so I want to show if you're still here. All right. So a friend of mine that just did a live with me last week, Madeline from Small Seeds, she sent me some seed packets and she shared with me, and I bought another one. It was some spicy greens that are really delicious. And there's a members video that shows us harvesting it and making like my own salad dressing. So if you are a member, check that video out. But there's some varieties on here that are specifically for, let me take this off for a second. Oh, excuse me. Try not to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. A lot of varieties that are specifically for containers. So this is container bush beans called French mascot. And even though they have drawings and it looks like this, they actually, I love that they show pictures in their own garden of all of the herbs. So you can actually see what the plant looks like in action. And these were very, very productive. And so that's why I got them. Let me see. This is the first true container green bean variety, perfect for patio pots, small space gardens. Yes, bush beans are definitely very good for small areas, and they do tend to stay compact, and they're very strong and hardy plants as well, and they don't have very much needs. I always say this, and it's true. I never feed my beans or my peas. They're here as fertilizers. They enrich the soil. So I never do anything to them. And they always do very well. And of course, it's wonderful to have fresh. So this is a plant that could be really good for containers. Oh, I do have it here. I thought my mom took it from me. So this is the one that I grew. Lettuces. Lettuces are really good to grow in containers, specifically the loose ones. Like any lettuce that you grow, you can cut it before it goes to a head. But specifically like microgreens are really good for growing in containers. So this is the one. And it's actually this leaf right, oh, it's actually on this side. This leaf right there it's a purple mustard, and it says it has a Dijon flavor. It is really good. But all of this lettuce is really good, and it grows really well. So I would recommend it. I also bought, let's see, this container tomato, and it's actually Roma tomato. It's called Inca Jewels. And so you definitely need to go to their website, Renee's Garden, and look at the plants. They looked really good. They were stacked with fruit. And so we only have a few tomatoes this year. I think I'll probably grow them next year. I always grow tomatoes, but they just have too many bug issues, and I was just feeling lazy this year. But I think that I might still try to grow another variety. I want to see. This one says the last, should have been, yeah. So this says 75 days. I could get away with it probably. I also have this. It's Swiss chard, and it's a yellow Swiss chard. It's called Pot of Gold. Let's see. It just says mild flavored, crunchy chard. They thrive in all climate zones, and they're good for patios or small space gardens. I also found, I was just looking for all the small compact plants so I can fit as much as I can, because I do tend to do the square foot gardening for the most part, just, in my head. I don't do the markings or anything, but I try to give things that much space, and I put herbs in between the sections, but I try to fill them out pretty good. But zucchini does take over, so I want to try this container zucchini. And they had tons of fruit on it, and it really was grown in a pot just like this. So it says compact squash vines, highly ornamental with big silvery green leaves. Okay, so yeah, so this is May through June. So I can actually still grow some because I don't have any zucchini. I didn't grow any this year, but I am growing cucumbers. And the last one, let's see, I bought these personal size watermelons. So the trick to growing watermelons is you want to trellis them up when you're growing them in a small container or etc. And I did that 2 years ago, and it did work out really well by just letting them trellis up. I was able to fit lots of watermelon plants in a small area. So yeah, this is this personal size. Hello, Lillian. Let me read the rest of the comments, and then I'm going to let you guys go so you make sure you watch the replay. Let's see. Your audio is muffled. I'm sorry. Oh, it's better now. Just a little echo. Yeah, it's still my other phone is still on, but I'm about to go, so I'm not going to fix it. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to do two things at once today. I love red giant mustard as purple and green leaf, and I love it. Yeah, so you probably will really love that one. It's really delicious. It's really delicious, and it has like a peppery spice to it. Even my kids liked it, but it was a little bit too hot for them just on its own. But in salads, you really don't notice it. It's good to have different flavors. It reseeded itself last year, so there's lots of volunteers. Have you ever tried Mizuna Red Streaks? Oh, that is good. Kind of nutty flavor, but new favorite of mine. No, I haven't. Actually, I usually just grow salad greens. I usually don't do the other greens because they get eaten so much. I didn't grow like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of those for the longest because the biggest problem we have in our garden is those worms, caterpillars, army worms, whatever. And so I usually just do a small amount, but I need to get more into it. The taste from those salad greens, and I really do love fresh broccoli. So I think we will try to grow that again. It's just finding the space for all of these things, some things you have to kind of pick what you want to pick and choose. So I don't do everything every year. But I don't tend to do as many greens. I have done Swiss chard and kale and stuff, but the bugs. So yeah, but thanks for the recommendation. I will have to try because those collards are really good. Sorry you missed me. I posted a lot on my desktop to remind me. Oh, it's okay. But yeah, I'll try to do more, but I just never know, what subject you guys are interested in. So let me know whenever you have suggestions. That's really helpful. The can sound was when you were on your phone dehydrating. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. leave a comment after the video is done and let me know what your favorite part was or how you're going to preserve your greens. That just helps with YouTube to get the video out there to more people. And let me know what you guys want to see, because I don't know. And, I want to film whatever is helpful to you all. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Have a blessed Shabbat. Have a blessed week. And may your family have many blessings. I'll see you soon.